If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on judgments instead of on your awareness of what would create the life and living you desire? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm.
And how are you doing? This is Christine McIver, your host for the Inspired Choices Radio Show here on A2Zen.fm. And tonight we have a very special show. It's going to be funny, it's going to be wild, it's going to be weird, and it's going to be all me. How does it get any better than that? This is a show that has really been talking to me for a long time. And I've kind of been, a little avoiding of it. And then I'm like, okay, so should I do it? And then I said, what the hell? I'm doing it. So tonight, who's fucked up did you pick up? And that may be politically incorrect to say, and I don't care. Because you know what? There is so much that's going on in the world. There is so many people that I'm in contact with, that I'm speaking with, from people that have been doing this type of work for years and years and years, to people that have chosen very little of personal development work, that are all having some massive challenges. So how does it get any better than that? This show has been speaking to me, and it really does feel like now is the time. So if you are up for a challenge, I really would love you to come into the chat room in A2Zen.fm and play with us. Your contribution is huge. I just want to let you know that every time you join my show or you join another show and you're in the chat room and you're asking questions and you're making comments, you so contribute to the creations. And that's what makes A2Zen so unique. And I just want you to know that I truly do appreciate your contributions, and I know that the hosts absolutely love the chat room. So just go to A2Zen.fm, and along the red bar you'll see a chat room button. Click there, type in any name you'd like, come on in and play, ask questions, contribute, or if you would like to call in and ask me a direct question, I would be more than happy to coach you live online. And again, you can use a false name. So our phone numbers in the U.S. are 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at A2Zen.fm. And if you are listening to the show in the replay, which many of us are busy, and I get that that's what we do most of the time, and you have a comment or a question, you're struggling with something, please know that I'm available to speak with if that's something that you desire. So you can connect with me through my website at inspiredchoices.ca. And I would be happy to assist you. And I love hearing from my listeners. It really does make doing what we do phenomenal. So tonight, who's fucked up did you pick up? Before we get into the show, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. And last week, how did you enjoy last week's show? Choosing greater no matter what. And my guest was Tanner Gears. Oh my gosh, that was one of my most favorite shows. Tanner is someone who really demonstrates not stopping, ever. And that was a dynamic show. If you are ever struggling and you want to give up, please go listen to that show. That man is changing things in the world. And I'm really happy that I had the opportunity to interview him on the show. And who knows, maybe he'll be back to our radio station soon. That would be phenomenal. So I'd like to give you a little brief intro about me. I am a possibilities coach, and I love working with individuals and organizations to create the things that they desire in the world with all the possibilities that are available in the universe. So many of us have bought into we can't have things, or we dial our lives down, and that is such bull. You get to have more. So working with me, I'm going to use all of the tools that I have available in my tool shed. I don't have a box. I have a shed. I am an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, bars facilitator, body process facilitator, radio show host, producer, and the owner of A to Zen. As well, I do a lot of other creative things, and working with businesses is something that I absolutely is one of my most favorite things to do. I also have 2 programs called Be the Dominatrix of Your Life, where you really step into demanding more from yourself and more from everything around you so that you can create the life that you desire, as well as my program, Divorce with Dignity. There's a lot of relationships that come to a closure. In fact, all relationships do. And if you find yourself not choosing to conclude a relationship for fear or worry or judgment, or you're in the middle of ending a relationship, or you've ended it but you're still hooked in emotionally, this program actually assists you to honoring yourself, having dignity with yourself, as well as dignity with everyone else involved, your children, this person you were in relationship with, and family members. So please connect with me if any of those items spark for you. I would love to speak with you about what would be available and what would work for you. And while I do charge for my services, the first 5 minutes are always free. And whether you live in Canada or you're anywhere in the world, I do my programs in person, over the phone, and over Skype. Skype is one of my favorite tools that I use. So please do connect with me, because there's no sense sitting there in your world if things can get better. Reaching out and asking for assistance is something I do, and something that I encourage others to do as well, because you have the choice to create your life even greater. Are you going to choose it? So tonight, whose fucked up did you pick up? How many times do you feel like crap for no good reason? Do you ever find yourself in a massive funk and you can't get out of it? Would you be surprised to know that it's not likely yours? It is absolutely amazing how much we are in a funk in our lives. And if you're in the chat room and you have any comments or thoughts, please feel free to participate. But how many times do we wake up and we're not often waking up going, yay, another day, I get to create more, I get to play more, I get to go to work, I get to feed my kids. No, we're usually waking up going, what do I have to do today? What's going on? And we're often looking for what's happening out there, right? And a lot of the times, I know for myself, I'll wake up and it will feel, quote unquote, heavy. And yet, logically, there will have been nothing that created that. There will have been nothing that's created me before I went to bed to feel crappy, and certainly nothing during the night. And yet I wake up in the morning, and as Carol says, we don't say good morning, God, more like good God, it's morning. Exactly. So how many of us are actually in that space? And we've resigned. We've actually resigned to the fact that we wake up and we feel like shit. Well, what if you didn't have to? What if you didn't have to feel funky? What if you didn't have to have any of that being occurring in your life? There is another possibility. Now, I want to kind of jump forward to, whose shit are you picking up? Whose funk are you actually picking up? Would you be surprised to know that 99.9% of us are so frigging aware that we are picking up other people's crap? So this reality often talks about, you're so sensitive. As a child, I know that I would easily get upset. I would easily cry. I would easily feel offended. And people would say to me, oh, Christine, you're just so sensitive, which, you can hear it, was a judgment. There was a wrongness in that, right? And, yeah, ooh is right, Keisha. It was not a kind thing that was being projected at me. And now I wonder, in these 5 seconds, we often say people accuse you of what they themselves are doing. I wonder how many people that were saying that to me were actually feeling sensitive, but putting up a brave face so that nobody would actually judge them. I was a very sensitive child, and I am still a very sensitive individual in that I sense everything around me. I sense when it's cold. I sense when it's hot. I sense when there's anger. I sense when there's joy. I sense when something funny is going on, even if I can't put words to it. I am picking up what's going on around me. And when we're younger, because we haven't already picked up all of the judgments and the limitations and the craziness of this reality, when we're younger, our sensitivity is actually even more, what's the word? I don't want to say sensitive, but I guess sensitive is the only word in these 10 seconds. Acute. Thank you, Keisha. Please tap into my brain at any time. Keisha, I appreciate that. It is very acute. We can pick it up so fast. I was thinking about the show today, and I get that a lot of people would maybe poo-poo that. No, I'm not really sensitive. I can see what's going on. I know what's going on in that person's world, or I'm aware of it because they've talked to me about it. Okay, so let's look at a baby. Have you ever been in the room with a child, an infant, someone who is like laying in a crib at a distance, and suddenly there's an energy that changes in the room between people or with an individual, or somebody walks in the room that's carrying a heavy energy. Maybe it's anger, maybe it's sadness. And the infant begins to cry. The infant begins to fuss. The infant is picking up on the energy. They are instantly picking up on it, and they have no cognitive knowledge of what's going on. If we could peel away the reason and justifications that we've bought into in our minds, and we really would start to tap into the awareness, dropping our barriers, we too would be picking up on the change in the energy in the room with total ease. So I was actually at a body class, and there were two infants. The babies were about, I think, 5 or 6 months old, and they would be, either laying down on the floor, on blankets, or in their cribs or whatever, and they wouldn't see what was going on in this very large room. And we would be talking about a subject that would maybe be very heavy, something that maybe was emotional for an individual. There wasn't a lot of sounds. There wasn't a disturbance. And all of a sudden, the children would both start to get very fussy simultaneously. And it was absolutely amazing. And what we did, we were asked to drop our barriers and expand out, as opposed to contract to the negative energy that was in the room. And without the children being fussed over, as we expanded, their fussiness dropped. So our energy, our first language is energy. We are aware of all that's going on, that's all that's being created within a room with such ease, it's not even funny. We're so aware of these things. And we are even more aware than we've ever been taught. Access Consciousness, the founders, Gary Douglas and Dane here, talk about awareness like you and I would talk about breathing. It is just so present. And if you dropped all your points of view around what that is or what that isn't, and you just tapped into it, does this feel light for me? Is this something that is possible? And it's light for you, and you started to explore it. Would it be a contribution to your life and your experience in your body? If this is something that does pop for you and you'd like to know more about this, please go to accessconsciousness.com. There are all sorts of information. There's blogs. There's all sorts of facilitators all around the world that will give you a lot more information about this. It's absolutely amazing. So we are going to go for our first break of the night, and when we come back, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into this. And as I said, if you have any questions or you'd like to call in, please do so, 815-880-8255 in the U.S. or Canada, 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype in at adazen.fm, and we will continue with this conversation. Whose fucked up did you pick up with Inspired Choices here on A to Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
It's body time. What would nurturing you and your body create in your life? Would you be willing to give yourself 30 days to find out? 4 live calls and receive direct to your inbox each day a video, process loop, or activity designed to contribute to you. It's body time. What will 30 days of nurturing create in your life? Begins October 15th. To find out more, go to doniellecarter.accessconsciousness.com, DONNIELLECCARTER.accessconsciousness.com.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Okay, we are back on the air, ready to unfunk this crap. So did you know that 99.99999% of shit you are picking up is not yours? Just think about that for a second. 99.99999% is not yours. Now, you don't have to buy into that as true. But what if you played with it? What if that was true? What if just by you playing in that sandbox of possibility that that's true started to change shit for you? You know, when you're in the funk, when you're deep down in it, when you are like, it's the only thing that you can see, it's the only thing you're experiencing, it's the only thing that you can feel, when you don't want to talk to anybody, when you feel like, you know what, you've just hit the worst patch of your life, when you're bawling, when you're angry, when you're shaking, when you don't know which way to turn, what if it's not yours? What if half of it's not yours? What if a third of it's not yours? What if a quarter of it's not yours? If you were willing to play with the possibility of that, would it start to shift? Would it start to give you some space so you can look at your shit? Patrina says, playing with magical people shifts shit for me. Yeah. Would you be willing to play with some magical people that can perceive something with greater ease when they're not in the shit like you are? So you know what, guys? You know, you hear me on the radio every week. I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, I've got a lot of credentials, blah, 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 blah. I still have shit. I still have shit. Everybody still has shit. The most brilliant, the most competent, capable coaches, amazingly wealthy, quote-unquote successful, happy people still have shit, okay? Would you be willing to drop your judgment of, I have shit, and what are people going to think of me if I have shit? Would you be willing to drop that? Because guess what? You chose to come here, and you're creating your life. And if you don't choose to step out of this shit, nobody's going to change it for you. I'm sorry. Would you be willing to stop being the victim of your own fucking life? Would you be willing to put up your hand and say, you know what? I don't care how stupid I look. I don't care how ridiculous I come off to somebody. I don't care if I don't look like I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm changing this. I'm changing this no matter what. Would you be willing to do that? Just the willing. You don't actually have to do it because, why would you want to? You wouldn't want to actually change it. You know what? I made up my mind a few years ago that I was not having the less than life anymore. And I didn't give a damn anymore what anybody thought about me because, truthfully, what you think of me is none of my business. I was having my life the way I desired, and I was going to change shit. And I've changed so much because I'm willing to be vulnerable and I'm willing to talk about whatever's required in order to move beyond it. Not talk about from the place of tell your story over and over again, but really tell it to an individual who can help you to shift it, help me to shift it. So if you're willing to do that, you can start to change it. One of the greatest tools in Access Consciousness is, who does that belong to? So if you are feeling, let's say you are feeling angry. Something occurred, okay, so let's just say you didn't just suddenly out of the air feel angry, but something occurred with you and another individual, and you start to feel angry. Is it possible you could be picking up their charge as well as your own? Is it also possible that you could be picking up a lie with them? If you would be willing to just ask, no matter what, without a conclusion attached, who does that belong to? Do you know what is going to start to happen? It's going to start to lighten up. Because you're so frigging aware, you're so frigging sensitive, that you're picking up anybody's crap anywhere from 8 miles to 8,000 miles. And please know that you're not only picking up other people's crap, but you're also picking up all of your old shit. From other lifetimes, from other years, from other relationships, from other jobs. If it's related to something, if you've had experience similar to that, you could be reigniting that shit without even knowing you're reigniting it. So when you say, who does that belong to, and it lightens, it's not yours, and it no longer is yours. As in, if it was with you in a previous time, it's no longer yours. So when you start to ask, who does that belong to, please know you do not need an answer. That is a tool that kind of opens the door so the shit can start to flow out. Would you be willing to play with that? Like really, really play with that. One of the things, awesome. One of the things that I love, one of the tools that I love, that I've been saying, so much for months now is anything that's heavy is a lie. How about I say it like this? Anything that's heavy is a motherfucking lie. Will that get you to remember it? Anything that's heavy is a lie because you as an infinite being have infinite choice. And why would an infinite being choose to have anything heavy? Why would an infinite being choose to get triggered by somebody's behavior, by somebody's judgment, by somebody's stupidity? You wouldn't, right? An infinite being wouldn't, but you are. So if you get triggered, if you would be willing to say, anything that's heavy is a lie, anything that's heavy is a lie, anything that's heavy is a lie, do you think maybe you might start to step back from it? Like, what if we thought about the heaviness as being a fire where we can get burned, okay? Would you step up closer to the fire, like we often do with our anger or our sadness, or would you step back from the fire so you can lighten up, so you can get things to ease up a little bit? yeah, you would back up, right? You would back up and go, whoa, wait a minute, I don't want to get burned here. So how many places and spaces are you actually burning yourself because you keep buying the lie that this shit is all yours? I'm not saying you don't have shit. I'm not saying you don't have stuff of yours that you need to clear. But I'm telling you, 99% of the fucked up, you're picking up from somebody else. And you don't have to have had a dispute. You don't have to have had an encounter that has made you angry, sad, emotional, stressed. You don't have to have had something actually physically occur. You're so sensitive, you could be picking up somebody who drives by who's in a terrible place. And that you can be picking it up so much. How many of you, when you were little, you were so sensitive to the people around you, to the kids around you, that you were always being a little mother or a little caretaker, and you were always running to take care of everybody else, and you were the one that made sure that nobody was left alone or left crying? Can I get a hell yes? Guess what? If you got a yes on that, it's because you are so sensitive. You are sensing what's going on in other people's worlds. You don't have to have eyes or ears to sense things. What you need is a being. And everybody who's in a body has a being. You chose to come here, and one of the experiences of being here as an infinite being is picking up other people's experiences. So you're picking up other people's craziness, other people's anger, other people's sadness, and you are holding on to it. Now, I was talking to a really good friend today, and she had an experience, and she had her awareness when people came up to her and they were saying things, and this experience was not the outcome of that she desired, okay? But people were coming up and giving her feedback, and she, in that moment, right, when they were giving her the feedback, she was receiving it as information, and she asked them some questions, and so she got some more information, and the individual who was actually running this organization, she was very triggered by people's dissatisfaction. So she started kind of making it a little bit more of a mountain than it was a molehill. And when my friend left the location where this event was, she called me. She was really, really upset. And she said she wasn't upset when she was there. She was upset when she left. Why was she upset when she left? Because she was perceiving everybody else's worlds, and she was starting to take it in, and she was starting to blame herself as opposed to really looking at what is true here. So what if we were to say anything that's heavy is a lie? Okay, cool. Anything that's heavy is a lie. Okay, great. And then who does that belong to? Okay, return to sender, consciousness attached. I know that if you've done any access, that these are not new to you, but I'm going to challenge the hell out of you that you're probably not using them as much as you need to be. And then, once you've done those two things, then say, okay, what am I aware of here? What am I aware of? Now, every time you ask these questions, guys, you do not need an answer. Get an energy. The minute you ask, what am I aware of, you're going to get an energy. And that energy can just be, oh, I'm aware of something. Cool. You don't need an answer. But if you would be willing to be in the energy of the question, you may not stay down in the fucking funk so fucking long. And you can start to change things quickly. All right? We are going to go for our second break. And when we come back, I'm going to look over the chat room because there's lots of great conversation going on in there. And we're going to get a little bit deeper into what we can do and what we can do to support other people around us who are buying into the lie of this is their shit. Okay? So you are listening to Inspired Choices here on A2Zen.fm, and we will be back right after this commercial break. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions? Or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
It's body time. What would nurturing you and your body create in your life? Would you be willing to give yourself 30 days to find out? 4 live calls and receive direct to your inbox each day a video, process loop, or activity designed to contribute to you. It's body time. What will 30 days of nurturing create in your life? Begins October 15th. To find out more, go to doniellecarter.accessconsciousness.com, DONNIELLECCARTER.accessconsciousness.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. So we are talking about picking up other people's crap. And before we get back into the show, I just want to tell you a little bit about what I am creating in the world. One of the things that I love doing is facilitating classes, and I'm facilitating classes throughout Ontario, classes of access consciousness that really go deeply into this type of topic that we're talking about tonight, and so many other places where we are limited and we want to move beyond it. So if this is something, if you're looking at your life, you're looking at your business, you're looking at your body, you're looking at your relationships, you're looking at places where you're doing self-judgment, where you're doing limitation, and you want that shit to change, are you willing to invest 5 days into your life to change it? I know I was talking with Carol Glover, a friend of mine, on her radio show this morning here on A2Zen.fm called The Clumsy Girl's Guide to Greatness, and we were talking about how many years that we have actually invested in so many freaking courses and so much money, and it changed very, 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 very little, trying to mimic what other people tell us what to do. These courses are not about mimicking, following a plan. They're really about teaching you tools and how you can unlock things so damn fast. So I've just finished this past weekend the 5-day class in Sudbury, Ontario. It was a phenomenal class. I loved it, and I actually kicked off a business class that night. It's called Beyond the BS Business Class, and it was phenomenal. I'm so enjoying doing that class. I'm going to be doing it again. Then next weekend, November the 5th, not next weekend, the weekend after, November the 5th, I'm going to be in Madoc, which is very close to Peterborough. Then November 12th to the 16th, I'm going to be in Cambridge with my host, Carol Glover. And and then I'm going to be November the 19th through the 23rd. I'm going to be in Toronto here in the area of Etobicoke with Patrina Fava, and we are going to be doing these 5 days all over Ontario, and we're not stopping because all of us are ready to like friggin' change our reality because we're all sensitive. We're all aware of what's going on, and it's heavy. And the more people that we actually get involved in and taking these classes, it starts to lighten it for all of us. So I would love to be the invitation for you to check these out. You can go to christinemciver.accessconsciousness.com, and you can check out the classes there. Find me on Facebook, Inspired Choices Inc., or through my website, inspiredchoices.ca. Or you can give me a call, 519-574-2199. I'd love to answer your questions. And I just want to invite you into a different possibility with your life and your living. I know that it has changed every single solitary aspect of who I am and what I'm creating and the way I'm being in the world, with my kids, with my friends, with my body, with my business, with my bank account, and most especially with my joy. And I just can't say enough about the amazing change that can be created if you're desiring to choose more. So that's what's going on amongst 1,000 other things. And how's it getting better? So we're talking tonight about who's fucked up did you pick up? And I just want to read, Patrina in the chat room says, when she was a kid, I'm going to read it in her words. When I was a kid and my parents were in the middle of a divorce, I couldn't figure out why I was overwhelmingly sad at night when I went to bed, even though I was kind of okay with my parents weren't going to be together. Now I know I was aware of my mother's sadness. Absolutely. She goes on to say, but I didn't know that, and I started to look for evidence of why I was sad. Oh my God. So I concluded, with the help of my mother's suggestion, that it must be because my parents were divorcing. Oh my God, Patrina, that's awesome. Interesting? Totally interesting. So, you know what? We pick up shit. We pick up sadness. We pick up anger. And then our brain goes, okay, so why? Why is a really shitty thing to ask, but I'll explain that in a minute. We go, why am I feeling like this? And our brain scrambles in our head to go find the evidence. Every time you ask the question, why, your brain is going to go get you an answer, because that's what your brain does. It looks for answers for you, okay? Whenever you want to find a reason and a justification for anything, I'm telling you, you'll find it. No problem, okay? So when you're asking the question why, it's like a loop. It's just going to keep looping you back into the old shit. Asking why doesn't actually change it. How many of us have been experiencing things since we were very, very young, and we thought it was ours, and it never was ours? If you have kids and they're coming home sad, they're coming home frustrated, they're coming home feeling very, oh my God, uneasy, or they like lack of confidence, and yet you know that that's not truly who they are, they're picking up other people's stuff. Something that I'd been saying this to my daughter, who's 18 now. I've been saying that to her for some time, and she just was like, you know, Mom, I don't know that I believe that, and that's okay. She doesn't have to believe it. And one time I finally said to her, I said, you know, Alicia, in past lives as healers, we were taught that we, in order to heal somebody else, we had to take it out of them and bring it into our own bodies so that we could save other people, so that we could heal them. And we're still doing that. And the minute I said that, she said, oh my gosh, there was something that rang in her mind. She says, oh my gosh, totally, I get it now. I get it now. And I didn't believe her. I'm like, really? And she says, no, I get it. And so what if what you're picking up, what you've always picked up, was somebody else's, but you were in the quote-unquote habit of taking it so that you could prove how much you loved them and cared about them and how much of a wicked healer you truly were. And everything this is bringing up, and everywhere you're judging yourself that you've been doing this and you've been making yourself crazy, would you like to destroy and uncreate all that? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, Puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I can't even concentrate. Yep. Patrina says brain equals an evidence calculator. So true. So Faith has a why question. If your brain loops trying to find the answer, then would a positive why have your brain searching for the positive answer? Like, why do I easily attract expensive opportunities into my life? Expansive opportunities in my life. You know what? If it's light, Faith, it's not a lie. If it's heavy, it's a lie. Now, you can ask why questions, but if why questions lead you to a heavy energy, please know anything that's heavy is a lie. So why isn't a bad thing, but if you are looking for an answer, you may end up down a rabbit hole. Just pay attention to that. Another thing that I'd like to invite you into is, what are you picking up? We often talk about, on these calls, on these shows, we often talk about emotions. But do you know that you can be picking up physical pains that are not yours? Do you know that you can be picking up habits that are not yours? You can be picking up attitudes that are not yours. You definitely can be picking up limitations that are not yours. You can be picking up body structure that is not yours because you are mimicking other people around you. I can give you the evidence, or give you some examples actually of a couple of places where I did that. First of all, I was picking up that lack was that I believe that, I bought into lack was real. I bought into lack was real. And one day when I was really willing to look at that, I said, okay, wait a minute. What do I truly believe? What do I truly believe? And when I asked that question and I really looked at it from a macro view, not emotionally tied into it, I got that I believed in infinite prosperity, in infinite abundance, and that I was buying into family members' belief around lack. When I did that, right away, everything began to shift for me. So right there, look at what you believe. Look at your beliefs. What are you buying into that possibly is not yours? I started to, later in life, I started to smoke. I actually started, I think it was in 2002, and I smoked until 1992, and smoked until I was 2008. And I couldn't break that habit. I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried. And one day, again, I really started to look at it from a curious place and went, wait, like, is this really true for me? Am I really a smoker? And I got a hell no. I am not. I was picking up on other people's belief systems, on other people's habits of what to do when I was stressed. And I picked up cigarettes. That day stopped. That was November the 11th, 2008. I ended that. There's so much of what we create in our bodies, in our belief systems, in our choices, that is other people's stuff. It's not ours. So if you would be willing to look at these things when you're not in an emotionally charged place, or you would please look out, reach out to someone who is not emotionally charged for it, but somebody that would have your back and wouldn't let you get away with shit, you could start to unlock this even more. And how amazing would that be if you could unlock things at the speed of space? I definitely have at least 5 people that I can reach out to and go, can you help me with something? And because it's heavy. And I just keep going back to anything that's heavy is a lie. Anything that's heavy is a lie. So if you would be willing to look at anything that's heavy that is really not creating greater in your life, you could start to really change all of this shit. Please know you're picking up most of what you have is not yours. And I know that sometimes I go, well, then who am I? Like, what is mine? And what I know today, since I've been unpacking all of that, and I've really been moving beyond all of the heaviness. What is mine is joy and laughter and creation and play and kindness and love and an absolute changing the world. That is me. I know that is me. And I wonder if you were willing to look at your shit and change it, what would you find? How much more of the un-you are you willing to get rid of? Okay, we are going to go for our last break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap this up. I didn't know what I was going to say tonight, and now I can't stop talking. How does it get any better than that? You are listening to Inspired Choices Radio on A to Zen.fm, and we will be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
It's body time. What would nurturing you and your body create in your life? Would you be willing to give yourself 30 days to find out? 4 live calls and receive direct to your inbox each day a video, process loop, or activity designed to contribute to you. It's body time. What will 30 days of nurturing create in your life? Begins October 15th. To find out more, go to doniellecarter.accessconsciousness.com, DONNIELLECARTER.accessconsciousness.com.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. So tonight, who's fucked up did you pick up? Do you enjoy being miserable? Do you enjoy being angry? Do you enjoy being sad? What part of that works for you? Would you be surprised to know that for many of us, there are times when that actually works for us, for whatever reason? I remember one time Marilyn Bradford, who is with Access Consciousness, she does Right Recovery for You, and she talked about a woman who drank a lot. And she kept saying she wanted to drink, she didn't want to drink anymore, And Marilyn actually said to her, so what do you enjoy about drinking? And right away the woman said, I enjoy that people leave me alone when I'm drinking. Nobody's telling me what to do. Nobody's bugging me. So even though she desired to stop, there was something in there that she enjoyed about it. So if you would be willing to look at what you enjoy about being sad, being angry, being sick, being broke, being crazy, being angry, I probably said that already, if you would honestly be willing to be that vulnerable with yourself, and you'd be willing to look at what's in this for me, what do I like about it, what's working here, you might start to find the limitations within it. You might start to find how you can begin to unlock it. Because that woman could have made another choice, couldn't she? She could have chose to say every night when she wanted to go have a drink, she could chose to go for a walk. Or she could have chose to go to her room. She could have chose to go get a massage. She could have made many, 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 many other choices. But she actually chose to drink. So choice creates awareness. But are you willing to look at what you are truly aware of? Or are you willing to play the victim of your own life? It's just a choice if it's working for you. But if you really want to change what's going on, would you be willing to start asking more questions? One of the questions that I love, even when I'm in the middle of an absolute insane heaviness, what's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about this I'm not getting? So sometimes being angry is actually contribution, because we can start to see that we're aware of lies. We can start to see where a relationship is no longer working for us. Do you get that you create everything in your life? You chose to come here. You chose to make a difference in the world. You chose to show up. If you're on this radio show, if you're listening to this radio show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You didn't come here to play small. So why are you choosing not to change what's not working? Katrina says, I like being angry sometimes because I feel justified in being right. Damn it. Good on you, Katrina. Thanks for being vulnerable. It's okay. You can be right. And then when you're done being right and angry, you can choose again. How many people out there are not willing to look at their shit because they feel like if they look at their shit, then they actually have to admit to the rest of the world there's something wrong with them, when the whole time they're judging the shit of themselves. I don't give a damn what you think of me, because I choose to be happy no matter what. I choose to change what's not working. And sometimes there's some areas I change pretty fast and I move beyond, and there's other areas that I don't. That's okay. But I'm not stopping. I may take a break. I may rest. I may run away and cover up my head for 10 minutes or 10 days. But I'm not stopping. And if I choose to stop and I actually choose to leave my body, I'll come again. Because I've been here thousands of times, and I'm going to again. In this lifetime, in this body, I'm choosing way beyond I've ever chosen before. If that's something that you desire, if you really want to choose way beyond and you want to do it fast, give me a call. I dare you. I'm here to really empower people to know what they know and to help them move beyond their crap fast. You know what? When you move beyond your crap fast, I get to move faster too. We're in this together. If the funk is working for you, if you like being at the effect of everybody else's crap, cool. But if you want to change the world and you want to create greater and you want to have more fun, would you be willing to look at your shit? Thank you, everyone, so much for showing up tonight. Thank you for tuning into the show. If this show is something that you think somebody else might get something out of, would you be willing to share it? Also, I have referral programs for anything that you hear or any of the classes that I'm doing. Message me and I can tell you about how you can actually be contributed to from what I'm creating. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next week. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.